ESPN celebrated early after Cheryl Reeve and Kathy Engelbert did all in their power to contain the Indiana Fever. Everyone would be shocked by what Sophie Cunningham was going to do next, though. Caitlin Clark is now prepared to coach the Indiana Fever after arriving with an extra bag for the trophy. Take a look at Nafisa Collier facing Lexi Hull as the game begins. The score is opened by Nafa. It's the turn of the Indiana Fever now. Caitlin wants more, and the score is deadlocked. Take a peek at this play now. After a turnover, the Cheryl Reeves team instantly switches to its preferred playing style, rushing through a change. The lead is taken by the Minnesota Lynx. McDonald makes a three-pointer, and Caitlin Clark is thrilled with what she's witnessing. Kelsey Mitchell gives the Indiana Fever a larger advantage. A mistake on the referee's part. Aaliyah finds it hard to believe. The referee proceeds to check the call after Stephanie White objects. They then fail to call another foul. The first basket is made by the Minnesota Lynx. The lead was then restored with a three-pointer. The Indiana Fever had numerous turnovers and a shot clock violation. Nafisa Collier returns and scores once more. Now see Natasha Howard's unsuccessful attempt to score the opening points for the Indiana Fever from the paint. For the Minnesota Lynx, Nafisa Collier scores another 3 points. The Indiana Fever are working to get better before something goes wrong. Natasha Howard continues to try, without luck. Now have a look at this configuration. That is just what the Minnesota Lynx adore most. They score by pushing for the hoop. Now Minnesota is down 12-0. Cheryl Reeve believed she had won the match. The Minnesota Lynx players had an early celebration. The Minnesota supporters began their festivities early. However, everyone would be shocked by what Sophie Cunningham was going to do next. Aaliyah chooses to go for the solo play after Sophie Cunningham requests for the ball once and again. Once more, Nafisa Collier scores. Sophie continues to wait in vain for the ball. Stephanie White is looking for an answer. Sophie Cunningham is making every effort possible. Since she joined, the dynamic of the Indiana Fever has dramatically changed. Additionally, Caitlin Clark now thinks a comeback is feasible. Nafisa Collier is unaware of what is in store for her. Nothing falls despite Sophie's efforts. To make up for it, she pushes and takes the rebound. And now Howard is facing an entirely new battle. Although Howard may find it difficult to compete with Aya Wilson, Brianna Stewart, or Brittany Gurrier's NBA-level physicality, she is superior to the other players in her position. Both of her free shots are made. Sophie thinks the resurgence is feasible. The high number of turnovers on our team this quarter worries Cheryl Reeve. A backdoor pass is threaded by Natasha. McDonald wins. Sophie Cunningham is defending herself. Get back up. Once more, Sophie Cunningham. She makes the brilliant decision to shoot the three. Caitlin Clark is thrilled with what she's witnessing. Cheryl Reeve is beginning to lose it. Take a look at Sophie. Her request for the pass is pointless. Afterward, once more. No success. For the third time. For the fourth time. Additionally, the Indiana Fever committed another shot clock violation. Stephanie White is attempting to change the course since Caitlin Clark is unhappy with what is going on. Caitlin is left with nothing to do but watch Sophie Cunningham return. Despite her best efforts, Nafisa is unable to save her crew. The score for the Indiana Fever. Indiana keeps up its strong play. Sophie doesn't pass, but Aaliyah does. A run for the Indiana Fever of 11-0. When Sophie Cunningham stops Nafisa Collier, she breaks down in tears. Sophie Cunningham puts the Indiana Fever up with a three-pointer. Take a look at that shot's accuracy. Cheryl Reeve stunned. She is powerless to stop Sophie Cunningham. The players from Minnesota are also in disbelief. At the close of the second quarter, Sophie Cunningham is preparing to do something that will surprise everyone, while Keir fails. Examine the statistics. Sophie scored as many goals as Nafisa did during the game after coming off the bench. We're about to enter a new round for more. The one-player team recovers after the Indiana Fever begin the third quarter cautiously, hitting the paint where the opposition is vulnerable.
Scores for Nafisa.
Nafisa tries once again but falls to the ground after failing. Additionally, things get more difficult for the one-man team when their star player is doing poorly. In the third quarter, The Indiana Fever continue to increase their lead. Observe Howard's dominance in the painting. The Indiana Fever have taken advantage of a blatant weakness in Minnesota. Aaliyah Boston and Howard both recorded double-doubles today. Lexi Hull made a three-pointer while sporting Caitlin Clark shoes. By the end of the third quarter, things became heated. Minnesota started to make a resurgence. Although their supporters thought the game was moving in their favor, the events of the fourth quarter would beyond everyone's predictions. Both Sophie Cunningham and Nafisa Collier are preparing to check in. Caitlin Clark is supporting the players for the Indiana Fever. Nafisa is driving straight at Sophie, 9 minutes from winning the title. She is first stopped by Sophie, who then stops her once again. Nafisa is unable to score. The referee signals a wholly fictitious foul. Sophie Cunningham finds that call unpleasant. Additionally, the fourth quarter is moving in the direction of the Minnesota Lynx. Their home court is where they're playing. They also believe in a comeback, with the support of their supporters. The strain increases with 4 minutes remaining. Stephanie White is concerned. Cheryl Reeve feels anxious. Caitlin Clark is observing intently.
Take a look at Sophie.
She scores after catching the ball and leaving Nafisa in the dust. Observe the assurance. Sophie Cunningham is playing with the Indiana Fever, who have a formidable defensive line. Sophie dribbles by everyone as she runs off once more. Fouling is their only option to stop her. It seems like Cheryl Reeve is going crazy. Today, the referees don't have any answers for Sophie. Sophie makes the second free shot after precisely sinking the first one as she approaches the free throw line. Caitlin Clark is in awe of what she is witnessing. After driving once more, Sophie serves it to Lexi Hull, and it's a. Take a look at Sophie 3. Nafisa Collier is limited to observing. And Cunningham's motion. After receiving the ball, she makes a three-pointer and joins Caitlin Clark in celebrating. Take a look at Sophie's clutch situation skills. The audience is in shock at what they're seeing. In the Commissioner's Cup, Caitlin and Sophie accomplished the seemingly impossible. At this point, nothing can stop Caitlin Clark. While Angel Ree continues to score points and grab rebounds, Caitlin wins her first professional title. Remember to like and comment.